Hello, my name is host Eric, and I'm here to say, don't do drugs, it's bad for you. My name is host Eric, and I'm here to say, if you want true love, don't do drugs. I'm host Eric, and I'm here to say, love is not full of drugs. Don't do drugs if you want some love, 'cause love's not drugs and drugs not love. Thank you, rap and public service announcement, Eric. This is regular host Eric, and I'm here to talk about instead today of a slightly different topic, namely the difference between true love and fake love. I was asked the question by a commenter who goes by the moniker Poopface McGee. Wait, no, that's not right. That's not correct, perhaps. I don't know. Let's see. Hmm. Er. Erneslo Scamilla. Erneslo Scamillo asked, what's the difference between true love and fake love? Real love and fake love. Well, Erneslos, I will tell you. I'm gonna focus on romantic love here, or intimate love, rather than something like paternal love, which I probably understand a lot more clearly, but of which I have less to say. Um, for romantic love, certainly I loved Candace to the extent that I know what it means and I can certainly distinguish it from the feelings of my first marriage, which were less warm, less affectionate. Now, whether that constitutes real love, uh, well, I guess it would depend on how you define real love, but I think a fair definition is something between infatuation and true love. True love being this notion that there's one perfect person out there for you. I actually think that the true love notion probably coordinates with your dual, maybe. And you go, if you fit with that person, then you are going to think it's like true love, like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be. It's my guess. But there's lots of real love short of true love, I think, to the extent that true love means anything besides finding your dual. Um, Real love involves a lot of work, but it probably shouldn't. Maybe it doesn't. I think I think that may be a key component, actually. That real love doesn't involve a lot of work. That makes a lot more sense to me. That real love is not worrying. If I'm really in love with somebody, I won't worry when she comes around and I'm doing something wrong. I won't worry about getting scolded. I think real love is scolding free for the most part. There's not any reason to, because the other person ought to know without a whole lot being said. Or if in fact there's a scolding and it's due, and has to be for the right reason, of course. Has to be justified by something meaningful. Fake love. Well, I mean, there's this persistence of the status quo thing that goes on, inertia. Basically, an effect of the reality that there are two kinds, I guess, of love and love. There's the behavior of love, behaving in a loving way towards people or towards a significant other. It involves a certain amount of effy stuff, telling her she's beautiful, verbally and otherwise appreciating her. Some people like to give gifts or something like that. Um, but it additionally involves I don't know. It seems to me that the faker the love is, the more it tires you out. And the realer the love is, the the less allergenic your system is to love. So for love that tires you out, that's probably not real love. That's probably the behavior of love. And somebody who can engage in the behavior of love extremely well um, may be able to build a truly loving relationship at some point out of that. But ultimately, I suspect that's more of a sign that it's not the right person than anything else, if that's the case. So that's my initial thoughts on real and fake love. Now, FP Tiff's been preparing a response, but I believe she may have accidentally mistaken what we were talking about and thought she's supposed to talk about real and fake gloves.
No,
Oh, you got it right. Okay, good. That's a relief. Go ahead.
that was my initial thought, but I quickly corrected myself.
I'm glad.
Um, for me, with my personal experience with it, anyway, the I guess what I would consider the fake love. I don't know about fake love, but for me, real love would be, when you're in the beginning of a good or seemingly good relationship, you end up on this kind of like pink cloud. Everything's great. People call it like the honeymoon phase or whatever. And you've got all these really strong feelings, and it's really easy to do all the things you're quote unquote supposed to do, to be romantic, to be sweet and nice and caring and loving. And in all relationships, that kind of pink cloud eventually goes away. I think real love is when that cloud goes away and all those things stay there. All those desires to still be caring and loving, and to do what you need to do for the other person is still there, even when you're not in the middle of that intense flame of honeymoonish phasery. When no matter what the problem is or the struggle is, you want to make it work.
Right on
I
cue.
guess I was being watched.
That's good. Right on cue. Um,
That wasn't an act, though. That's how I really feel about it.
I didn't think it was an act.
I'm just clarifying for my own purposes.
I was being a creep and watching.
Okay, cool. Um,
I love you, sweetie.
anyhow, the fake real division is an interesting one because I think that it draws a point to the fact that there's two different kind of things we're talking about. On the one hand, engaging in loving behaviors, and on the other hand, like a good natural fit. I actually think the latter is probably the more important, and that to the extent there's too much of the former required, that is not a good fit.
At the same time, I'd like to rebut your idea that this shouldn't be. It shouldn't feel. There is a lot of work involved. I think if it's real love, it shouldn't feel like work. But that doesn't mean that it's not hard work to be in a relationship, to be in real love. I mean, you're never going to find someone that doesn't have problems with things that you do or the way that you are sometimes. Real love is when you can get past that.
See, I mean, but like that's one of those axioms, right? Real love is always requires work, Eric. And, it's like these sort of axioms. I think it's because 95% of people are in the wrong relationships, and that's why we think that. And that in fact, real love is exactly the opposite of requiring work. It's easy, it's comfortable, it's natural, and it fits.
Natural, yes. Easy, not always.
Well, I mean, look, life will sometimes make it more difficult um, than it is other times, but the comparison is against the difficulty of dealing with that as a single person. So, is it more difficult or less difficult? That's really the question. I think a good relationship, good healthy relationships, makes things less difficult, not more difficult.
I would agree that a good relationship will be less difficult than the same situation alone. That's a good way of putting it because life throws shit at you all the time,
Yeah.
and it's kind of hard to distinguish between what shit is being thrown at you by life and what shit's being thrown at you by a relationship. But I think you're right that if you look at the same situation with and without the right person, it should be easier with the right person.
Right. I've got a date on Wednesday.
Oh,
I got a Tinder match,
oh,
and I was pretty
what's her
pleased. Nancy,
name?
but not the sexiest name in the world, but
Who cares?
yeah, but who cares exactly? The point being that unlike every previous Tinder date slash match or date that I've communicated with, so it's like I've gone actually on three Tinder dates in my life before I stopped using Tinder, and the reason I stopped after those 3 dates was I was just like, oh my god, is this what it is? Because like none of them were good. The last two were pleasant enough, but both the chicks were not very bright, and
Well, I'm
I
sure you didn't have any part of that then.
no, I mean I don't. I'm not looking for an intellectual woman necessarily. I'm just saying, you know, uh,
Well, yeah, but you don't want someone who you talk to and they stare blankly back at you.
or you go, really?
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between having an intellectual partner and having a partner that is able to comprehend what you're telling them.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I can't talk with Mandy about all the nuances of the stuff I do at work, but if there's something really exciting, I'm able to explain it to her in a way that she's not just like, okay, whatever, like she can get it on like a baser level. But that's probably because she's intuitive and not sensing. I don't think I could ever be with a sensor.
Well, the thing is, I think that's what I need to have as a sensor. But this chick is almost for surely an intuitive. We hit it off on the phone pretty good, actually. I mean, we started chatting and it was really comfortable to chat with her, unlike all the three previous Tinder people that I talked to. So
That's a good.
it is a good sign. And I
You
think
should at
it's
least have a.
what's that?
So you should at least have a good date, even if it doesn't work out in the long run.
Right. And as I told her on the phone as well, that I'm perfectly okay with this. I'm not. I'm fine with this ending up as a friendship if that's where it goes. I mean, it's like I'm not worried about getting friend zoned because it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. I'm too old for that shit. It's like I want female friends. I'm happy to have them for sure. The alternative being to have one fewer friend. It seems such a cut and dry choice. But if I want to better, I'll probably just keep trying to better until she says, I don't want to be your friend anymore. That's a good solution. I think that's a good way to go about it. If you don't want them to be your friend, you know.
I don't know. When I me and Mandy went on our first date, I literally texted her after setting it up, saying, "By the way, I'm asking you on a date. I don't want to just be friends," or something along those lines.
That's smart. It's a good thing to do. I did the same thing with Capillo, um, which was like a year, a little bit about a year ago. And yeah, I ended up sleeping with her.
Good for you, Eric.
Thanks. Little locker room talk for you.
So proud of you, Eric.
I mean, it was a year ago, I, which is fine. I'm not saying anything wrong with spending a long time between having sexual relations with people. At a certain point, you do.
Before Mandy, I had a 3-year dry spell. So
Yeah, I mean, I had probably longer than that even, in my early 20s, and
what? Sure.
yeah. Anyway, the point is, I kind of want a woman. I think I'm gonna try to maybe get one and have sex with her. I'm gonna try. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll see. I have to feel comfortable about it. I don't want to. I don't want to pursue that just to pursue it. That's just something that I physically want in the moment, rather than just desire to have happen abstractly. Oh, humans. Oh, humans and their sexual proclivities. Um, it's like weird. I feel, actually, now I'm talking about it, slightly excited. In that kind of nervousy way that suggests something exciting's going on. If you like excitement and you like adventure and you like lots of cheese, then you would want to go on Tinder where they will date with thee. Assuming you go on a cheese themed date. Not everybody does. Tinder recommends it, but I, of course, recommend it as well. If you don't, I understand. Some people aren't bold. The non-cheese eaters of the world, they lack boldness. They need big, bold flavors.